Hello everybody, my name is Natasha and I'm dropping by with a piece of gossip I've just picked up from the pond where Prince Bertie the frog lives. As you know, Bertie used to be a handsome prince, but now he's a frog. His little friend Tim the tadpole has been asking him about his life in the palace when he was a prince. "What did you do on Wednesdays, Bertie?" asked little Tim. Bertie tried to remember. He was pretty sure that Wednesdays in the palace began like most other days, with his feet in comfy slippers, a copy of his favourite comic on a silver tray, and toast dripping with lots of lovely honey. But what happened after that? "Ah, yes," he said. "Wednesdays were for swimming lessons." Tim grew very excited at this. "What a wonderful idea! Can we have swimming lessons at the pond?" Colin, the grumpy carp, overheard this suggestion of Tim's and barged in, as is his way, with a rude comment. "That's the stupidest thing I've heard yet. Tadpoles don't know much, but at least they're supposed to know how to swim." Tim swam around in circles for a bit and thought about this. After a minute or so, he came up with another idea. "Well, can we have walking lessons then? Please, Bertie, show us how to walk. Princes know everything, so I'm sure you can teach us how to walk beautifully. That will be a useful thing to do." Colin was about to point out that the reason that Tim couldn't walk was that he didn't have any legs. But he was in a particularly grumpy mood that morning, and he thought to himself, "What's the point? I might as well talk to a stone. It would be more interesting." So Colin sank down to the bottom of the pond to find an interesting stone he could talk to. A little later, he looked up through the water and saw that Bertie had hopped onto the bank of the pond. "There you are," Colin said to the stone. "That stupid frog is trying to walk, but his legs are too bendy. That's why frogs don't walk. They hop." And sure enough, Bertie found that walking wasn't so easy as it was in the old days when he was a handsome prince. He tried to put one foot in front of the other, but he couldn't. His legs just weren't made that way anymore. "Croak," he said. "Walking is more difficult than I remembered." A moment later, he bent both legs and then sprang 2 feet in the air. Little Tim was mighty impressed and called out, "That was great! Go on, Bertie, walk again!" This was too much for Colin. He rose to the top of the pond and stuck his mouth out of the water. "That's not walking," he said. "That's hopping, and not very good hopping at that." "Well," said Bertie, "it's true that tadpoles and frogs are not so good at walking as princes are. But one day, little Tim will start to grow legs like all tadpoles do when they get older. Then he will turn into a frog like me and will be able to hop on land wherever he wants to and swim in the pond whenever he wants to. That's twice as clever as you. You'll never be able to hop, you grumpy old fish." "Pah! Pond life," said Colin, and he sank to the bottom of the pond to continue his conversation with his new friend, the stone. But one day, if enough children listen to Bertie's stories, he'll turn back into a handsome prince, and he'll be able to show everybody how well princes can walk, with straight backs and holding their chins up high. He'll have swimming lessons every Wednesday again, and perhaps he will invite his pond life friends to join him in the pool and watch him dive bomb Colin the carp with a big splash. don't forget to drop by and see Bertie at his website, storynori.com, where there are always lots and lots of free story nories, such as Goldilocks and the Three Bears and Little Red Riding Hood, and of course, gossip about Bertie and his friends. I'll be back with another story nori soon. Until then, from me, Natasha, bye-bye.